is me again. How are you doing? So this video may be up before or after my last vlog. I don't know which one is going up first, but in that vlog, I talked about how I have a new foundation routine, except it's a no foundation routine, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not wearing any foundation. Haven't been wearing any foundation for a while now. And it is all due to one single product. I have recently rediscovered a product that has been around for what feels like centuries. And it is, might I add, the best product I have ever discovered for my under eyes. Like, guys, I'm not kidding you. When I say it's the best, it's the best. I have never had one single product that has absolutely eradicated my dark under eye circles. And as you can see, they are quite prominent. So to have a single product that can do the trick just like that is magic. Oftentimes I use a color corrector. I don't always like to, but oftentimes I will if they're really, really pronounced, which is pretty much always, but I don't always like to use a color corrector because it's just so many steps. I'm always on the hunt for a really good concealer that not only is full coverage, but also the right tone. Because my under eyes are very, very dark, they're very brownish, they're very purpley looking. It looks like somebody punched me in the face twice. Like, come on. We don't want to always look like we're zombies. We don't want to look like raccoons. We don't want to look like pandas. Actually, pandas are kind of cute, so I'm okay with that. But as I was saying, because my under eyes are this tone, I'm always looking for a concealer that is full coverage and also has more of a peachy, kind of beigey undertone that helps counteract my under eye circles. If I was to go with a concealer that is closer to my skin tone, it would kind of just make my under eyes look pretty gray, and that's not the look I'm going for. You want your concealer to be more of a salmon peachy tone. That's what I'm trying to get across. I can't go with the concealer that's too light because it'll definitely accentuate the darkness and make it turn gray. And sometimes with certain brands, they release concealer shades that are very yellowy, so that doesn't help my under eye circles either. That does help to brighten them, but you can still see them peeking underneath because it gives a gray cast. So I cannot typically use those. If you don't really have under eye circles, then you can definitely go with those concealer shades, but they just don't work for me. Which led me to this product. I am talking about none other than the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer. This baby is my lifeline right now, okay? I love her. She is very dear to me. This is what the product looks like in the jar. As you can see, it's very emollient looking. It's very thick, very pasty in texture, but don't let that scare you because this product is magic. But honestly, guys, it can be tricky to work with, but I'm gonna show you exactly how I've been using it and how it works for my under eyes and show you the reason I love it so much. Now, the reason in the beginning that I said this is a rediscovery is because it actually is. I did try this years ago and I didn't really understand how to use it. I think back then I wasn't too familiar with makeup, so I was kind of just testing it out. I didn't really understand it. Little did I know it was the most beautiful thing ever. The reason it's called a skin enhancer is because it's not meant to be just one thing. It's kind of meant for all purposes. It's infused with jojoba oil, vitamin E, and also honey to help hydrate your skin. And because it is so pigmented and high coverage, you can actually use it for just about any skin concerns. You can use it to cover your dark circles. You can use it to cover tattoos. You can use it to cover blemishes, freckles, anything. It's basically a foundation, concealer, and corrector all in one. And the best part about it is you only need the tiniest bit and you get the fullest coverage out of it. I'm about to show you guys. I'm gonna be going in with the shade 9. I like this one because it does have more of that peachy, beigey undertone, and that's what's gonna help color correct at the same time. So I got even closer for you guys so that you're able to see. I like to take mine, and what I will do is I will take a tiny flat brush like this, and I will actually very lightly dab into the product. Very lightly, you guys. I'm telling you, you don't need a whole lot with this product because it can get crazy really fast. I'll start with one side so that you guys can see. I will place it right in the inner corner, right there where I have the most darkness, so you can see how full coverage this thing is. I mean, it is insane, guys. And I will just start smoothing it out, kind of spreading it just a little bit, like so. I'm just lightly patting. I'm not swiping it because this product is very, very thick and it's actually not the easiest to spread. So you just have to be very gentle around the under eye. Just kind of take your time. When I feel like I've got the placement kind of where I want it to be, I will then go in with my Real Techniques dome brush and I will start patting out the edges like so. Hopefully you guys can see this. I know I'm like at the weirdest angle. I'm trying to look in the mirror while also looking at the camera. And you just want to really make sure you are below blending this product out because I can't stress it enough. It's very thick and it can be pretty hard to blend if you're not precise with it, but the end result, I'm telling you, is 100% worth it. And you see from that tiny amount of product, the amount it spread out is insane. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I'm as close as possible so you guys can truly see the difference. I mean, do you guys see how insanely full coverage this is and how brightening? Look at my under eye before and then look at using this product. Just wow. My under eyes are pretty much the biggest concern I have on my face. They just make me look so tired, so zombie-like. Yes, I have dark spots. Yes, I have freckles, but it's not as big of a concern to me as my under eyes have always been. So this, just having one step to completely eradicate them is fantastic. And I wanted to get really close too so that you guys can see the finish of this product. You can see it's not super dewy, but it's also not a matte finish either. It's very natural looking. I mean, obviously it's full coverage, but it's very skin-like is what I'm trying to get at. One of the best parts about this is even though it's so thick and paste-like in texture, it does not feel heavy on the skin at all, at least in my opinion. And I have this under my eyes. That's one of the heaviest feeling areas when you have a product that's too heavy, and it doesn't feel heavy at all to me. It is also waterproof and sweat resistant, so even if you cry while wearing this, haven't tested it out yet, so don't quote me, but supposedly you can cry and everything and it's not gonna streak off on you. I also find that it does not crease on me either. Just a game changer for me. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye really quick and I'll be right back. Okay, hold up 1 second. Hey everybody, future Imani here. So, unfortunately, as I was editing this video, I realized that one of my clips are missing, and that is the very next clip. I was actually showing you how I set my under eyes, and I was showing you my cream bronzer, and for some reason, that entire clip just disappeared. It's to oblivion. It's gone. Did I cry? Yes. Will I continue to cry? Probably. I mean, imagine back in the day when you had to build that solar system for your class, you know, out of those little foam balls we would buy from the store, and then we'd paint them to look like planets. Yeah, imagine working really hard on that, and then your mean older brother just comes in your room and stomps on it and it's gone. Then what do you do? That's how I felt when I realized that clip was gone. Am I okay? To be determined. But anyway, I figured I would just jump in the middle of this video and show you guys again. So this is the very next day. I've already put on my Sensual Skin Enhancer again. I'm gonna show you guys how I actually set it. And then I'm also gonna show you my cream bronzer as well. The best part is both of these products are drugstore and they're extremely affordable. So hopefully you guys enjoy. So I'm just gonna make sure that you are as zoomed in as possible. The first thing I like to do is I will go in with my e.l.f. HD powder. This is in the shade Soft Luminance. It has a little bit of a glow to it. So I take the powder, dip my brush, tap off the excess, and then I just lightly set that. And I'm using a translucent powder because I find that with the Sensual Skin Enhancer particularly, if I use any other kind of powder, sometimes it will darken the product. You can actually see a little bit with the translucent that it did slightly darken it, but nothing too crazy, and it actually ends up working out just fine later on when I add the rest of my products. But yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why I do it this way. I just find that the translucent powder works the best. Usually I wouldn't do translucent powders. I'm not too keen on them. But I do love this e.l.f. one. I feel like it is super lightweight and you can see it just sets the under eye really nicely. It's not drying. It's just very finely milled, so you don't really feel, you know, heavy powder under your eyes. So that's how I do that. Sometimes if I really want my under eyes to be a little bit more brightened, I will actually go in with a light layer of a brightening powder over top of that. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer Kit. I don't particularly use these bronzing and contour shades too much. I have used them before, just not recently. But what I really go for is this more light yellow toned powder here. Tap off the excess of that and just add a little extra brightness under the eyes. And these powders are also very smoothing, so really smooths out the under eye, adds brightness, and just make sure that you have everything set in place. This step is kind of unnecessary, but like I said, it's just in case you want a little extra brightness. A powder like this is really helpful. Another powder I like to use for brightening, but it's not drugstore, is the Bare Minerals Summer Bisque. This is like a powder concealer in a way. I think that's what it's marketed marketed as. It's way too light for me to use as a concealer, and I don't feel like it covers enough. But sometimes if I want a little extra coverage and a little more brightness, I will use something like this. And now for the bronzer, or cream bronzer, I should say. One of my favorite parts, this is actually called a contour stick, but the shade of it is more bronzy. I'm talking about the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contour Stick. I have this in the shade Oaks on You. You guys, this is such a hidden gem. I feel like it was really, really popular back in the day. Everybody seems to have forgotten about it. I think it's a really good dupe for, let's say, like Rare Beauty or something along those lines. It's not quite as creamy, and it's also not quite as pigmented, but for a drugstore option, it is definitely a dupe. I think this was like under $5. What I like to do with this is I will just kind of swipe it on my cheeks like so, and you see how easy, like it just kind of glides on. There's not much drag to it at all. I go under my chin here, and then I also like to go over my eyelids just to add a little extra color there. And also I have veins that show through, so I don't want those showing. Then I will just take a really dense brush and I will go ahead and blend that out. I like to stipple it, but since I'm not wearing any foundation, I guess I could kind of swirl it or drag it a little bit, but I don't like to do that. I just like to stipple my products on, and I feel like it blends it out the best. So you can see it looks a little more seamless that way. Underneath the chin, I will kind of drag it a little bit more just because that area doesn't matter to me as much. I need to come up with better words to say, because drag, that does not sound like what you'd want to do with your makeup. Like pull, what other word can I use, you guys? I don't like to say drag. I do like drag queens though. For the eyelids, I just like to take a smaller eye brush and I will kind of marry that to the eyelid just to add some dimension and some color. Sometimes our lids can look a little blank. Now, I don't do this every day, but if I'm really feeling extra, what I will do is I will take the contour stick and I will actually go down the sides of my nose as well. And you can just see how easy that was. I know that this color is pretty warm, but I just feel like it works for me. You can definitely go with one that is a little bit more cool toned, or you can just do this with a regular powder. This is just what I like to do, but you don't have to do it exactly this way. I don't always find this super necessary to do, is just because my nose bridge is already pretty thin. It's more so my tip that's a lot more bulbous and wide. Really, I kind of just do this because it's kind of satisfying to me. I don't know why. And that concludes the part that was missing from the video. Thanks for sticking around. And I apologize once more for that clip being missing in action. Back to past me. Then what I like to do is I will go in with this Physicians Formula Bronze Booster, and this is in medium dark. Set that cream bronzer down. I like to pat mostly, but you can swipe just a little bit. Because the cream dries down to more of a matte finish, it doesn't slip and slide, so you don't have to be super gentle with it. And guys, you see, this is the reason why I don't feel that I need to wear foundation, because the other products apply so nicely on my skin, and the Sensual Skin Enhancer just takes care of most of the job. It makes me so happy. For my blush today, I've really been enjoying cream blushes, and I have two options from the drugstore here. I've been loving this Milani blush. This is in the shade Coral Crush, and then this blush by JCat is in the shade Berries in Cream. I'm actually gonna be going in with the JCat one today because I'm really in the mood for more of this color of blush. I want a more berry blush tone. These blushes actually have two very different formulas, so depending on what you're going for, go for one or the other. The JCat one has more of a matte blush finish, kind of just right off the bat, and it usually stays that way throughout the day. Now, the Milani, on the other hand, I feel like it does apply a little bit more on the satiny matte side, but it gets a little bit dewier throughout the day. So if you like something like that, then you'd probably really, really enjoy the Milani one. I love them both. It just depends on what color or what formula I'm going for that day. And that is what the color looks like. Really kind of reminds you of a MAC blush, doesn't it? What I will do with this is go in with my Complexion Duo Brush by e.l.f. Damp the brush in there like so until I get enough product on there. Go ahead and start placing that on my cheeks. And you can see it looks very intimidating in the actual pot, but when you apply it to your cheeks, building up slowly, it doesn't look intimidating at all. It's actually a very beautiful tone. I feel like this would look so, so good on darker skin. If you are a brown queen, I think you would really, really love this color blush. I also think it would look good on all skin tones. You just have to probably adjust the amount you use to your skin tone. Let's go in on the other side. And like I said, you guys, you can see it's basically a matte cream blush. It's called Blush Mellow for a reason. Like it feels like a super lightweight cream blush, like a little marshmallow, which is very easy. You can also probably just apply this with your fingers, but I really like to go in with a brush. Add some to the top of my nose and then a little bit on the chin. I really like color to my face, so that's why blush is one of my favorite things to apply. I also like to set my cream blush, so I like to go in with this Essence blush. This is in the shade Beloved, and this is just a very soft pink tone. Dab into that, and then I just place that over top of the cream. And you can see it adds a really nice soft glow to my cheeks too, which I love. Just makes everything blend really well together. Okay, so we are pretty much done with the skin at this point. For my everyday foundation routine, this is pretty much all I do, or I should say no foundation routine, because we did not use a stitch of foundation. This is all just my products that I used on top of the Sensual Skin Enhancer. I mean, it looks incredible. Like you wouldn't be able to tell that it's a no foundation routine. It just, yes, it does look like I have makeup on, but it also doesn't look like I'm overdoing it. I just really enjoy focusing on the skin because I like to look put together, I like to look refreshed, I like to look awake. So that is exactly what the Skin Enhancer does for me. And that's why I don't need any foundation, because it does the job. Pretty much all I like to do with my brows nowadays is just to brush them up. I don't really fill them in anymore. I don't really add any product to them. This is just kind of how I keep them. Next, we're just gonna add some mascara. And I'm kind of gonna skip through this part because it's kind of boring. So I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift, which is my absolute favorite in the entire world. Best mascara to ever have been released. Okay, we are almost done, besties. Just one more thing I wanted to show you guys. My absolute favorite drugstore lippy to use for the past, like, I don't know how many months now, has been these Maybelline Vinyl Lip Inks. I have been head over heels. They are incredible, last all day, and they make your lips look so pretty. I'm gonna be using the shades Lippy and Peppy, and I'm gonna mix those together. First, go in with Lippy. So this is more of a warm, kind of pinky berry tone. I love it. And then Peppy. And Peppy is more your lips but better kind of tone, at least in my opinion. Here's both of the shades swatched. So you can see Peppy is definitely more muted. It's more of a neutral, kind of, like I said, your lips but better color, and it's more like a nude. Then Lippy is definitely darker, very warm, kind of peachy, pinky, corally color. I have these in so many colors already, and I just think they're probably one of the best lippies at the drugstore that you can find. All of the colors are fantastic, and they have a wide range. But anyway, friendship, that is pretty much it. That is my everyday no foundation routine. I have been doing this nonstop. I have been loving that Sensual Skin Enhancer. It is just the best product I have ever found for my under eyes, and I stand by that. If you have really dark under eyes like I do, I'm telling you, give it a try. It may take a little bit of trial and error just because, like I said, it is such a pigmented product and it is so full coverage. But once you figure out exactly how to use it, then I know you will really, really like it. The best tip I can give to you is to always start with a tiny bit. Less is more, less is more, less is more with this product. Start off with less and then build it as you go. But like I said, give it a try and see how it works for you, because it works really great for me, and I definitely wanted to share what I've been using with you guys. Let me give you another close up of the Skin Enhancer. So you can see it does not look heavy under my eyes. It just looks concealed. It looks perfected. I look like I don't have dark circles. If you guys are interested, I will have it linked down below along with the shade I used today, which is the shade 9. If you're close to my skin tone and you want to give it a try. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Kevyn Aucoin brand, Kevyn Aucoin was actually a really popular makeup artist back in the 90s. He was the one who kind of created that sculpted, contoured look on supermodels and actresses. So he was really well known and still is. That's why his makeup brand is still being sold, because he came out with some really innovative stuff. But anyways, that is all I have for you for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up down below. It lets me know that you enjoyed, and it is a very small way of supporting me, and I'd really appreciate it. I'd also really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button so that we can be friends and you don't miss any more videos. I would love to have you here all the time. Also, let me know what you think of today's look. Let me know if you liked this no foundation routine and if you're willing to try out the skin enhancer. I love hearing feedback from you guys. And until next time, I will see you in my next video. Bye!